Hello and welcome to Astrology. I'm Vivek Singh. I'm before you with a video on the house number 6. This house, the sixth house, is a Dusthan. This is called Aribhav. Dusthan. Du means troublesome, Sthan means the place. So the house signifies a troublesome place, the place that signifies troubles in the life of the native. This house makes the native toil, trouble, struggle in his life. This house is also an Upachaya Sthan. Upachaya means stockpiling, what we collect gradually as we face the different phases of life. And therefore, this house matures and grows with the time. It improves with the time. This house is very interestingly the house that gives money, because this is also the part of the Artha Trikona. Arth is money or monetary, Trikona is trine. Second house, sixth house, and 10th house. These three houses are the part of the Artha Trikona or the monetary trine. So, sixth house, it not only gives troubles and struggles, it also gives money to the native. Now we come to the significations of the house. The major signification of this house are debt, disease, service, enemies, and few more. Debt. What is a debt? In general parlance, it is the money that has been borrowed from someone. It can be a bank or some financial institution or a person that we know or we don't know. And the money that has to be repaid. There are certain terms on which the money is given to us by the bank or the financial institution or anybody. So this is a debt that must be repaid. There is another kind of debt, and which is very important. This debt is prarabdha or pending karma. This house signifies the pending karma. In our lifetimes, we do positive and negative karmas. These positive and negative karmas are accounted for, and there is a balance sheet of every lifetime. So whatever positive and negative karmas that we have done in our past lives, the sum total of that is called Sanchit Karma. The part of the Sanchit Karma that has been assigned for this lifetime to be executed or to be worked upon or to be resolved by the native is the Prarabdha Karma or the pending karma. So this is a very important house in that sense. The next is disease. Disease is uncomfort, physical or mental uncomfort. Generally, it is considered in the physical sense. It could be illness of any kind, sicknesses which are curable or not curable. These are signified by the house number 6. Mental anguish is also a problem which is signified by this house. This house also signifies services. Services, what is a service? Service is something that we do, and in return we are getting something. Unless it is a charity. I'm not talking about the charity. It is a service, the job. So we are working for someone, there is an employer, we are working for someone. This is the service. It has another dimension. The people who are working for us, that means our subordinates, our servants, are also signified by this house. The another dimension of the word service with the reference to this house is the service industry. We know there are many call centers which provide different kind of information or assistance for the various services that we procure. It could be related to mobile services, it could be related to food delivery services, it could be related to the travel services, anything, any kind of service. So this service industry is also signified by the sixth house. Now, coming to the next signification, the enemy. Enemy, this house signifies the enemies that are known to you, that are in front of you, that you are aware of. So, sixth house is the house of enemies. So, as I told you earlier, this is Ari Bhav. Ari means enemy as well as the opponent. So, this is also the house of opponent. So, any kind of opponent one has to experience in his lifetime is also signified by this house. And therefore, your competitor is also signified by this house, the house number 6. Now we come to the other significations of this house. This house signifies nursing or the nurses, the people who support the patients, who take care of the patients. This house signifies the tenants, the beggars, theft. It signifies the daily routine as well as the daily struggle of an individual, cattles, pets. This house signifies maternal uncle, the disputes, divorces, difference of opinions, litigations, accidents. Coming to the relations signified by this house signifies the maternal uncle. It signifies the paternal grandfather as seen by the paternal grandmother. The house signifies the stepmother and the mistress also. As regards the body parts, this house signifies the intestine, the small intestine. Thus, it is related to the digestive system. Jealousy is another signification of this house because this is a kind of enmity one may have with an individual. However, in order to understand or conclude what exactly is going to be the impact on the life of a native, it is very important that the planets which are sitting in the house, the sixth house, are also considered and their nature is seen, their behavior is seen, because that will influence the ultimate result or the conclusion. In case there is no planet sitting in the sixth house, then the placement of the house lord, the lord of the sixth house in different houses of the chart would be deciding the fruit or the result of the sixth house. The house it is placed in, the conjunctions it is having, and things like that, all have to be considered together to get the final picture. However, to have a general idea about the result of the placement of the lord of the sixth house in different houses of the chart of an individual, we are giving you some indicative results. These are not full and final. So let us begin with the first house. When the lord of the sixth house is placed in the first house, the native would be sickly and inimical to his own men. However, he would be famous, he would be rich, he would be adventurous, he would be virtuous, he would also be a very honorable person. If the lord of the sixth house is sitting in the second house, the native would be very skillful speaker, he would be living in the alien places or alien countries, he would be famous and adventurous. However, he would be kind of self-centered person, he would be interested in his own work. When the lord of the sixth house is sitting in the third house, the native would be given to anger, he would get angry very easily, he would be inimical to his own siblings, and he would be a timid kind of person. He won't be as courageous. The person will also be not having obedient servants. The servants would be disobedient towards the native. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the fourth house, the native would be devoid of maternal happiness. However, the person would be intelligent and rich. At the same time, the person would be evil minded and jealous. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the fifth house, the native would be having fluctuating fortunes as regards the finances. He would be having enmity with his children and his friends. However, he will be happy and selfish person. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the sixth house itself, the person would be inimical to his own men but friendly to the others. As regards the wealth, he would be having mediocre fortunes. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the seventh house, the marital happiness is not available to the person. He won't be able to get the happiness out of the wedlock. However, the person would be famous, virtuous, adventurous, and rich. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the eighth house, the person would be interested in the wealth of others. The person would be interested in the partners of the others, spouse of the others. He would be having impure inclinations and the person would be sickly. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the ninth house, the person would be dealing in the wood and stones. In Sanskrit text, the word given is pashan. Pashan means the stones. Also, it means the poison. As regards the career, the fortunes are fluctuating. When the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the 10th house, the person is famous amongst his own men. However, he is inimically disposed towards his father. He loves to stay in the foreign country and he would be very good and skillful speaker also. When the Lord of the sixth house is placed in the 11th house, the person would make money through his enemies. He would be virtuous and adventurous. However, he would be bereft of the progenital happiness, which means either he would not have the children or his relations with the children would suffer. Coming to the last house, when the Lord of the sixth house is sitting in the 12th house, the person spends his money on vices. He would be having bad habits where he is spending all his earnings. He would be inimically disposed towards the learned men or gurus. And the person is cruel. He inflicts cruelty, physical or mental, whatever it may be. So these are the some basic indicative significations of the sixth house. Initially, we talked about the characteristics. That sixth house is Dosthan, it's an Upachaya house, it's part of the Artha Trikon or the monetary trine. Then we talked about various significations and then we talked about the effect of the placement of the Lord of the sixth house in different houses of the chart. With this, I am signing off for now. I will be coming back with another video on some other subject on astrology. If you have liked this video, kindly subscribe to our channel, hit the bell button so that you keep on getting notification as and when we come up with a new video on astrology. And of course, do share with your fraternity, the people who are really interested to know about the astrology. So goodbye for now and see you again.